it's your boy Ty back here with another video, and in this video today, guys, we're going to be doing a tier list of the center position in NBA 2K24 MyTEAM. Now, obviously, this whole position is headlined by Shaquille O'Neal. Without Shaq, you can't have the center position, so I'm really actually glad I waited to make this video until the Shaq attack was out. So, I'm gonna tell you how it is. There's gonna be one player at S tier, okay? And I'm not even gonna sugarcoat things. There's gonna be one player at S tier, and it's Shaq. So everybody else is gonna be A tier or lower because there's nobody on the same level as Shaq in my team. Now, is that me saying that you guys should go lock in for Shaq? No, that's not what I'm saying because he is ridiculously expensive. But he is, in my opinion, the best center in my team by a wide margin. Now, here's what you're looking at, okay? We're going to look at the rest of these centers, again, from A to F and see where they do lie. And as we do that, guys, if you're new to the channel, man, make sure to smash that subscribe button. We're on the road towards 120,000 subscribers. Al Horford up next. When you're comparing Al Horford to the rest of the guys on this list, I think it's tough to not put Al Horford in A tier, okay? And I don't mind Al Horford at all. And when you look at Al Horford's stats, when you look at his badges, animations, I don't hate him. Can shoot the ball really well, decent speed, decent lateral quickness, and he at least holds it down on the interior. Am I saying his interior defense is elite? No, but he holds it down enough that, I mean, you can make the case for Al Horford in my team. Again, I don't love the card. Good enough, in my opinion, to be at A tier. Alonzo, now, actually, I like Alonzo Mourning more than Al Horford. I might move Al Horford up. We'll have to, again, see as we do dive a little deeper into this thing. Both these cards are really good. Alonzo Mourning, obviously your triple threat offline ultimate reward. Comes down to it, I think he's, your best center outside of Shaq. I really do. I rate Alonzo Mourning that high. A tier easily for me in my team. Stoudemire, I think, is on the same tier of Al Horford. I played Stoudemire in a wager the other day, and he was shooting the lights out. So, if you can grade with Stoudemire, I think that gives him a big advantage, decent speed. I, again, think you can play him at power forward, have a lot of success with him there. But even at the center position, he is just fine. Bargnani up next. He can stretch the floor and shoot lights out. Do I love the card? No. But again, he's tall enough, can stretch the floor. He's not that bad in my team. Andrew Bogut, I'm not a fan of him. I'm putting him at C tier. Somebody came in my stream the other day and said, oh, Shaq's nothing to my Andrew Bogut, or my Andrew Bogut's going to get paint stops on Shaq. Man, enough of that. Andrew Bogut is nothing compared to Big Shaq in my team. Bam Adebayo up next at the center position is A tier, right up there with Alonzo Mourning. The thing I love about Bam, again, I'm going to say it like this. I'd rather run him at power forward than center. But if you have to run Bam at center, you can hold it down. His release is super good. He can green shots. Yes, you have to lock in a lot of MT. I'm not a big fan of ever doing that. But Bam Adebayo A tier is absolutely elite. Another absolutely elite center in my team is Big Ben Wallace. I'm going to tell you guys right now, we're getting a lot of these guys out of the way right now. Like, we really, really are. Ben Wallace, another inside big. I don't love inside bigs, but he has half rebound chaser, a ton of defensive badges. In my opinion, right up there with Alonzo Mourning. Like, I'm having Alonzo Mourning and Ben Wallace compete for my backup center position, and honestly, I don't know who's winning it. Bryant Reeves up next. Here's what I got to do, okay? Somebody tell me what Bryant Reeves does on the court. I mean, he can't shoot. His defense, I guess, isn't that bad, and he's 7 feet tall. I'll go D tier because there are going to be probably some worse cards here. Birdman up next. I don't mind Birdman, and when I say I don't mind him, not that I'd use him, but he has a decent midi. He can compete defensively, and I've had to use him to do some challenges and stuff, and he's been fine. Not that he's great, but he has been fine in my team. Chris Kaman up next. Another guy I really don't rate that high. He's tall, lengthy. You can grind challenges with him, but that's about it in my team. Chris Webber up next, A tier. So I played some guy the other day, and his offense literally was get the ball to Chris Webber and take post fades. That was literally his offense. Now, did it really work very well? No. I mean, I boxed him, and he had basically nowhere to go the entirety of the game. But again, Chris Webber, he's decent, right? Again, another guy I prefer the power forward position, but if you want to play him at center, he is just fine. Gafford up next. Here's a guy in Daniel Gafford that I'd be lying to say I've ever played him. 33 ball, 65 speed, not great defensively, only 6'10". I'm going to throw him at C tier. I don't see it with Gafford. He can't stretch the floor. He's not a great interior big. I mean, if you go up against like Alonzo, Mourning, Ben Wallace, he is going to get dogged. Daryl Dawkins up next. Am I crazy for not minding Daryl Dawkins? I mean, decent speed, good rebounder. I like Daryl Dawkins in my team. If you need a budget center, and not that he's that cheap, but if you can get Daryl Dawkins like in a deal of the day for like 10,000 MT, and you need a budget big, he can hold it down. Daryl Dawkins, C tier. DeAndre Ayton up next, A tier. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it for DeAndre Ayton. I think the card is outstanding. I use him in play now. I have a lot of success with him in play now. Have I used him in my team? No, I've not used him in my team. But a lot of people really like Ayton. Like a lot of people who have, played quite a bit or have locked in for Bam, they really do like Ayton. And there's not that many people in my team that have Ayton. But again, for those that do, they really rate Ayton. And I can see why. Because even for me specifically, when I play with him in play now, I'm a big fan of the card. DeMarcus Cousins up next. Look, I like DeMarcus Cousins. I'm going to throw him in A tier. But I feel like we're setting a bad precedence here. So here's what I'm going to do. Ayton down, DeMarcus Cousins down. You know what? I'm going to actually throw Ayton above DeMarcus Cousins. Not that I want to, but I feel like I have to. Look, I think this is where it belongs. Boogie, to me, is just a little slow, a little sluggish. And, he's just not as good as a guy like Alonzo Mourning. He's not. Dennis Rodman at center, C tier. He's still fast, still going to get you some stops. But again, he's an undersized center that can't shoot. I mean, that really limits his ability. Dirk, I mean, let's be honest, guys. I'll throw Dirk at B tier, but I do not love Dirk in my team. He's slow. His release is baited. I know he has a high 3-ball, but does that really carry somebody in today's game? No, it doesn't. He needs to be a little better in my team. Domantas Sabonis up next. I'm going to throw him at B tier. I haven't used Domantas Sabonis, and nobody's really used him against me, so it's kind of hard for me to sit here and rate him. But I do think the card is fine. I think you can use him and have success with him. I just don't know how great he truly can be. Eddie Curry up next, our first F tier card. This card has had some decent cards. Eddie Curry's been decent in the past. This Eddie Curry is a garbage man in my team. Giannis, A tier. If you want to argue S tier, I'm not going to be the one to argue against it. I mean, pro pass player, you can get him for $10. I like him more power forward. Some people like him more at center. Either way, he's outstanding. Horace Grant up next. He's not great. I mean, the big difference between Horace Grant and a guy like Daryl Dawkins to me, Daryl Dawkins is a little taller. Daryl Dawkins probably going to compete a little better defensively. Here's the deal, guys. It's basically all preference between the cards, and a lot of times that's what it's going to be. Now, it's a little different just for the sole fact that, they're sapphires, but a lot of this game is preference-based. It really, truly is. Isaiah Jackson up next. Okay, look, I don't hate Isaiah Jackson, and it needs to be known that I do not hate him. But for me, and this is me specifically, when it comes down to specific cards and how good they should be, I thought Isaiah Jackson would be better than he is. And again, that's not me saying Isaiah Jackson's horrible. That's not me saying you can't use Isaiah Jackson, because I honestly think you can. It just comes down to the fact that there are other better cards in my team than Isaiah Jackson, and just cards I would prefer to run. If you want to use Isaiah Jackson, you can. Isaiah Jackson's a card I got on my no money spent, but will never see the court. Jabari Smith Jr. up next, A tier. As much as I think he's super weak, and if you will go up against a guy, let's say, like Julius Randle, he'll probably get cooked on the interior. Here's the deal. He's got one of the best releases for stretch bigs in my team. So no matter what your feelings are on Jabari Smith Jr., you can't debate that, man. His release is chicken in my team. Jack Sigma, I want to put him at A tier. I got to go B tier. He was a card I used quite a bit, though, from a promo set on my really good account for some time. I just think he's becoming outdated. And if he faces, a Shaq, he will get absolutely destroyed. Jaren Jackson Jr. up next, A tier. There is something about Jaren's player model player build that you can't teach. I don't know how to even explain it. His player build is so tough in my team, and it's one of the reasons he is absolutely elite. His release isn't that bad, but that's why he's good, is because of his player build. Jerry Lucas is center, C tier. I don't mind Jerry Lucas at power forward because his release is really good, but if you go out there with Jerry Lucas at center, he is going to get absolutely fried. He is going to get absolutely cooked. And again, that's not me slandering Jerry Lucas. That's just the facts of the situation. Joakim Noah, I do think he's going to be a salary cap reward. And obviously, he's not in my team yet, But I think Joakim Noah is fine in my team and going to be able to compete with some of the best interior bigs in my team. I don't like him quite as much as Alonzo, Mourning, Bam, Deandre, Ayton. The card is really, really solid nonetheless in my team. Next up, guys, we do see the Sapphire Joel Embiid. And I'm not gonna lie, the Sapphire Joel Embiid, hey, he's large, but he's not very good. I mean, I don't know, I'll put him right there. The Ruby Joel Embiid's decent, though. I'll put the Ruby Joel Embiid in A tier because if you need a guy who can go out there and compete, Joel Embiid can do that. Am I saying he's the best card in the game? No. Am I saying he's a center that, look, if you have that can maybe compete and get you the occasional stop versus a guy like Shaq, I think he can, man. So, for me, Ruby Joel Embiid, A tier. John Collins Ruby, he stinks, man. Why did DBG tweet the other day, am I the only one that knew John Collins got traded to the Jazz? Like, casual, maybe? Anyways, John Collins C tier is where I do indeed have him at. Ruby Julius Randle, watch the gameplay if you haven't yet. A tier for Julius Randle. I don't know what it is about Julius Randle, but he's good. I mean, I think it's a combination of a lot of things. His release is good, number one. Number two, his movement is decent. And number three, if he gets a mismatch in the post, he can go and attack people. So I just think as far as an overall card, I really do like Julius Randle, and I'm glad I got him. And I'm honestly glad he is our unlimited reward because I think for a lot of guys out there, if you do get him, he can help you guys out. Ruby Karl Malone up next. Am I crazy for putting... I feel like I'm crazy if I put Karl Malone in A tier and have DeMarcus Cousins in B tier. I think that's a little crazy, especially at the center position. But I don't like this. And so maybe what I got to do is just move DeMarcus Cousins up to A tier, although I really don't want to. Look, here's the deal with Karl Malone. I think the card's really good. He's just undersized. So I guess my A tier is just going to be overflowing. But then I want to move Amari up or Al Horford up. I can't. Okay, I can't do it. I can't do it. I do want to move Al Horford up, though. I do. Al Horford's A tier. But I think the rest is okay right here. I think this is where everybody does indeed belong. Emerald KP, look. People want to say, oh, this KP is the same as the other KP. And I mean, to some extent, it's true. They both have 25 speed. Their stats are basically the same. But his badges are way, way, way better. So, I mean, again, there is some truth to it. But badge-wise, he's got, I think, 10 silvers on this on this emerald. He's a little bit better. The other KP probably would be D tier. I mean, at this stage, again, he's fine. He's just not great. Emerald Kurt Rambis. I mean, is he F tier? You guys can tell me, what does Kurt Rambis do for you guys on the court? Can't shoot, bad speed. Defensively, I guess he's not that bad, but he's only 6'8". I'm leaving him in F tier. LaMarcus Aldridge, I do not like this card at all. And you guys can hate me, I'm putting him in D tier. I just don't see what y'all see out of LaMarcus. I mean, he can't really shoot the 3-ball very well. I mean, defensively, what? Is he okay? Like, LaMarcus Aldridge to me is not good. If you chose him out of the promo pack, all I can say is I'm sorry. You normally think LaMarcus Aldridge can shoot. But if you look at his 3-ball, that'll tell you a different story. Larry Marketing up next, A tier. I do think he's better at the power forward position than the center position, but he's 7 feet tall. His release is really, really, really solid. Just think as far as an overall big man in my team, definitely a card that I really do like and rate really highly in the game as it stands right now. A tier for Larry Marketing. Next up, guys, we do see Magic Johnson. And I'm one, right? Early on in the year, everybody was gassing Amy Magic. People were like, man, he's got to be in your lineup. I don't see it with Amethyst Magic Johnson. Now, if you get him along the level 40 grind, can he play a role? Yeah, he's not a garbage man. But it's like, to me, is he a top tier center in my team? No. I mean, there are so many guys I'd rather have. I'd rather even play Jack Sigma than Magic Johnson. And that's not a jab at Jack Sigma because I really do like the card. That's just me saying, if you want me to sit here and gas him as being one of the best centers in my team, I'm not doing it for Magic Johnson because I've used the card quite a bit and I still have yet to really see anything from him. Matt Bonner up next, probably going to shoot the ball well. I don't know. He's undersized. Again, I've not used him, so I can't really sit here and grade him. He just does not look great in my opinion. The one thing he's got for him is he can at least shoot the rock. Keeps him out of F tier. Miles Turner up next. I'm going to go A tier Miles Turner. Again, a lot of these centers at A tier aren't Shaq, but they're guys that can compete with Shaq. The problem is a lot of them are the NBA Series 1 set or the collection in which you got to lock in for, like Ayton, like Jaren, like Joel Embiid, like Miles Turner, Larry Marketing. That I don't necessarily like locking in sets, so that's why I personally would never use them. But again, you're just going to see a lot of them because they are decently affordable. And all those cards are really solid. Nate Thurmond, A tier as well. I feel like Nate Thurmond, if you got him, you're going to really enjoy the card. The problem I have with Nate Thurmond is I just don't think he's as good as Alonzo Mourning. Like, when I pull up Nate Thurmond right now, I'll just do it for you guys. He's solid, right? Decent speed, decent interior, hot pogo. He can get you that occasional stop. I just don't think he is that next tier of good. Sapphire Jokic up next. I mean, look, the only time I've used Jokic is to get assists with Nuggets players. Outside of that, don't use the card. D tier is where I got him. Vucevic up next. Fine, B tier. He can shoot the ball a little bit. Banchero, like him more at power forward than center. I still got to put him at A tier. I think he's better than Boogie. Is he better? Is he better than Karl Malone? That's the comparison I got to draw right here, right now for us. Because I got to see something. Because I do like Karl Malone. But I think Banchero overall, no, man. I think it's close. I think it's really close. He is taller. I'm going to put him at B tier. I don't know if this is right, man. I think Banchero at power forward is even better. At center, though, he's just undersized. I'll go B tier. Pat Ewing, C tier. I love how 2K advertised, oh, Patrick Ewing, day one, and his resale value. And then you see his buy now value, and it's like 70,000 MT for a bum Patrick Ewing card. Card stinks. Pau Gasol, A tier. I've yet to see a Pau Gasol. Like, and I don't blame anybody. Who really wants to grind domination? I've grinded a little bit, not a ton. Who wants to grind dom? I certainly don't. Pau is fine. A tier is where he belongs. PJ Brown, kind of a bona fide scrub. D tier, not great. Rafe LaFrentz, might surprise you guys. I'm putting him at B tier, and I'm not taking any Rafe LaFrentz slander. So if you want to slander Rafe, find another YouTube channel. The card is absolutely elite. If you're no money spent, definitely pick up Rafe LaFrentz. He can compete at the highest level. Robert Parrish, another Sapphire bona fide scrub. Same thing with Roy Hibbert. Gobert is tall. It's about all he does on the court. I guess he's going to defend decently. I'm not a Rudy Gobert stan. The card can't shoot. And if you can't shoot, you better be it at something else. And I mean, defensively, he's okay. But his speed is not ideal. Tiago Splitter, garbage man. Tree Rollins, not very good. Tyson Chandler gives you a little something, not very good. Victor Wembanyama, at this stage, I got to go C tier. The problem with Wemby is this, guys. I know he's 7'5". But if you want to run him, I mean, he's just not he's not that built well. I mean, if you have Shaq up against Wemby, Wemby will get mashed every single possession. As sad as it is, as much as I wish it wasn't the case, he will literally get mashed every single possession. It's really that simple, that easy to understand. I like Wemby as much as the next guy. In offline modes, he can still play, but I just can't put the card any higher. That's going to wrap it up for our tier list today, guys. We actually got a lot of centers in A tier. The problem is when you look at the price of them, okay? Bam, lock in, both sets. Alonzo, grind the mode. You got to lock in for Ben Wallace. Chris Webber, lock in. Ayton, lock in. Buy season pass for Giannis. Jabari Smith, budget, okay? Jaren, lock in a set. Joel Embiid, lock in a set. Julius Randle, unlimited. Al Horford, lock in a set. A lot of these guys are expensive. Let me know your thoughts. Who is I too high, too low on? Drop a like on the video. Subscribe if you're new. And as always, man, I love you guys. Have a blessed day.